Hi, welcome. Till now, we were using Spring AI Starter model Olama and we were using LLM in the local. Now, for tool calling, these local smaller models are not sufficient. If we use larger models, we need minimum 48 to 64 GB of RAM in the local. So, we are going to use API keys for this lesson. So I have configured Spring AI starter model OpenAI and I have commented starter model Olama. In application YAML file as well, I have commented properties related to the Olama and I have used Spring AI, OpenAI, and I have used Grok base URL, and we have to configure Grok API key. We can directly use OpenAI keys to hit OpenAI APIs, but it requires some money. If we use Grok, we can test these APIs for free. Let me show you how to get Grok API key. Navigate to console.grok.com keys and log in. Then click on the create API key. Give it a name. Let me give Spring AI and specify expiration if needed. Let me specify it 7 days. Verify you are a human. Then submit. Let's copy the key. Then click done. Now go back to your code and update the key. Also specify the model. I am using Llama 3.3 70 billion versatile. Now let's move to coding part. Let's create a folder service and create a service file weather service.java. Let me annotate this with configuration. Let's create two records, private record request, which has two parameters, string city, string unit. Also create one more record, response, string temperature, and string unit. Now let's define the tool. As we are doing a demo of static tool, let me declare a bean and a description. Description is very important. This influences the LLM's tool finding. Let's define the method. Let me quickly import annotations needed. Now return request. Let's define what needs to be returned. Let me log a sentence here. As we are not showing the demo of API call, I'll just copy paste this code and I will go through it. Here we are defining the REST client. This is the URI we are going to hit, and we take the city from the request.city and the unit from the request.unit. Let me quickly import this java.util. From the response we received here, we get the current condition and get the temperature and return the response. So let me save it and create a new controller, tools controller Java. Let's annotate with REST controller, define a chat client. Let's define constructor. This should be chat client.builder. Now let's define the API. Get mapping tools weather. Let's define the method. We need a request parameter. Let me name it query. Let's use chat client dot prompt dot tool names and give the bean name here. What's the bean name? Get current weather. Then user, then pass the request parameter, next call method, then extract the content, Let's return the response, save it. Let me build. Run. Let's use terminal to test it. Let me hit this URL with the query, what is the weather in London? Here we got the response. This is real-time weather. The current weather in London is 12 degrees Celsius. Did you notice this log statement here? So this is from tool calling, getting the weather for city, request.city and the request.unit. There is one more method to register the tools. We used tool names. There is also a method called tools. Let's look at it, how to implement. For tool names, we define the tool as being and we give a description. Now to use tools, let's define a get mapping, tools add. Let me accept the code suggestion. Later we modify it. Let's accept a single parameter query and we remove this. Let's define a static class. Though this is not a good practice, I'm just doing it for demo. Let me create an instance of it. Calculator tools. Let me rename it, remove tools from the name. Instead of tool names, we are using tools now. Add calculator here. This is query string and get the content. Let me save it. Let me build and run. Let me bring up the terminal and let's hit the API. The query was, what is 50 plus 22? The answer is 72. So we have now seen two ways of tool calling, one using tools method and another one using tool names method. This completes the static tool calling. In the next lesson, we will cover dynamic tool calling. We'll see you there.